Welcome to the first episode of the post-match analysis of the weekend games in the Premier League. My name is Abdallah, and taking you through the games that were played over the weekend in the Premier League, how they impacted the places on the table and the title race as well. Before we continue the video, please make sure you like, subscribe to the channel and share to encourage more viewers to view our content. Kicking off with the game of Manchester City against Nottingham Forest at the City grounds. City had to come from behind, had to win it late at the City grounds thanks to goals from Tijani Rianders in the 52nd minute. Later on, 6 minutes later, Nottingham equalized through their talisman, Dominguez, and City later on through the individual brilliance of Ryan Cherki and yet another masterclass goal to seal the 3 points in the 83rd minute. City, having played earlier than Arsenal, City had to go first place with 40 points, leaving Arsenal at 39 points before the game. Later on, at 6 in the afternoon of Saturday, Arsenal were at home hosting a game of football against Fabian Husela's Brighton and Hove Albion. Arsenal were cruising in the first half and had an lead through captain Martin Odegaard, and later on doubling their lead in the second half through Jorginho Ruta's own goal. This, of course, proved to weaken the Brighton side, and they tried to force their way back into the game when they got a goal through Diego Jimenez, but Arsenal's resilience shook them off, and Arsenal had to take all the 3 points and clinch back the first spot on the Premier League table. City and Arsenal, of course, maintained their lead, maintained their winning run at the top of the Premier League, while it seems like Chelsea, who travelled in the late night kickoff on Super Saturday, had to lose a game of football against Unai Emery's informed Aston Villa, thanks to a brace from Oli Watkins, who came on in the 58th minute, and his substitution changed the entire game because early on Chelsea had taken the lead through Richie James, who scored a direct corner kick into the back of the net. Unai Emery's tactical adjustment proved to cause Chelsea a lot of problems when he withdrew centre forward and brought on Oli Watkins, who got an opener for Aston Villa in the 63rd minute, just minutes before he came on into the second half. And then later in the 83rd minute, it yet again another corner kick and another header from Oli Watkins proved enough to clinch all the 3 points for Aston Villa, yet propelling them through the title race also as well, because they are behind by 1 point, that is against City, and by 3 points against the Gunners at the top. Everton were held to a goalless draw by the struggling Burnley. Another game that transpired on Saturday was a 1-0 win for Fulham away from home, where they defeated Nuno Espirito Santo's West Ham United. And West Ham's struggles and woes continue as they seemingly edging closer to being relegated after so many years in top flight football. Brentford, all the Bees, were at home and had to exert their full power. Bournemouth, who lost a game of football with a 4-1 scoreline. Brentford 4, Bournemouth 1. That's yet another big win for Brentford, as they seem to be on the verge of securing their safety into the league. Then, in the games that transpired on Sunday, that is, we had 2 games where we had Crystal Palace at home. Before that, we had Leeds, the battle of the championship promoted sides, where we had Leeds United at home at Elland Road, hosting Sunderland at the Stadium of Light, hosting Leeds United. Sunderland, having with a lot of absentees that have been that are away at AFCON, with of course very limited players that are available. Of course, the bookmakers were in favor of Leeds to clinch the 3 points, but an early goal through Simon Adingla, who surprisingly wasn't included in the squad of Ivory Coast for the ongoing campaign of the Africa Cup of Nations, scored a beauty that gave Sunderland the lead in the second half. Seconds later, into the second half, the informed English talisman Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who was gotten for a free transfer from Everton, and he's on the scoring run of around 4 to 5 games now, got an equalizer for Leeds United, and that proved to be enough, and there could not be anything that could separate the two sides at the Stadium of Light. In the final game of the late kickoff on Super Sunday, we had the Crystal Palace's Oliver Glasner's Crystal Palace hosting Tottenham Hotspurs of Thomas Frank at the Selhurst Park. The struggling Palace, of course, who are lacking their key man, Ismaila Sarr, who is away at Senegal for the Africa Cup of Nations. Crystal Palace struggled to create any chances. They proved they could not cope up with the physicality and pace of Spurs, and Spurs, having actually gotten an early goal through Archie Gray. The goal was ruled out for offside, but thanks again the same man, who scored still in this first half to give Spurs the lead. And from there, Crystal Palace could not find any answers to the solid defensive structure of Tottenham Hotspurs, who were lacking actually key figures like Romero, who has been red carded in the defense, was Xavi Simons in the attack, who was red carded against Liverpool in the reckless tackle he made on Virgil van Dijk. But nevertheless, Spurs held on to win away from home by 1-0. Not forgetting United were 1-0 winners on Friday, Boxing Day on Friday, 1-0 winners against Newcastle United in a surprising win, because United, lacking key figures like Brian Mbeumo and Amad Diallo, plus also Nassar Mazraoui, who are away at international duties in the AFCON, having also gotten an injury of Bruno Fernandes in the midfield. Of course, you would not back United to get the 3 points even when they were at home, because they've struggled really at home. And backed by the good record on Boxing Day, because United have not lost any game since the Premier League era on Boxing Day. And also the tactical adjustment of Ruben Amorim this time, because he has been very arrogant and adamant about changing the system, where he even saw that even if it was the Pope, he could not change the system. But him playing the back for this time, it was a surprise attack to Newcastle United, who did not expect anything of that sort, and they seemed to struggle a lot. United, of course, decided to leave out the possession, because when United scored, Newcastle had 68 of the ball possession, and United had only 32. So, thanks to the tactical adjustment of Ruben Amorim, Man United, with the number of absentees, by the way, had to get it out, had to throw their bodies on the line to get all the 3 points at Old Trafford on Friday. Thank you for viewing us. Thank you for your time. Leave your comments, your thoughts in the comment section. Like, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thank you.